See, I told you not to be dramatic in your entrance.
Don't mind, I need to stir myself up.
Just hi, hello.
Hi, what's up?
How are you?
How you all doing?
Good to see you
What's
again.
up?
Just be normal.
Oh yeah, you do that for us.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Hi everyone.
What's up?
Good to see you again. Okay, we're supposed to tell them this is new season, right, and all of that. Okay, good to have you back. Season 2, Love and Living with TOJU and DAMI. Thank you guys so much for all the love, all the comments, all the posts, the reshares. Thank you so much. We're really grateful and we are ready.
Even though I'm wearing red.
No, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. We are ready for another season. Sweeter, hotter. That sounds like all those newspapers something. Sweeter, hotter. Advert, what again do you used to say? Better, juicier, more vibe, more, yeah. Yeah. Someone said more pepper, but I don't really like to pepper them. I'm not part of the gang, but more sauce for you guys.
Don't finish the pepper you need for your jollof rice.
So your jollof rice will not be bland.
Exactly. You just have tomatoes left.
Now we tomato jollof, tomato rice.
That's like boarding school.
Red rice, suffered rice.
Boarding house.
Right, but we're really ready for a good time, better time, more intimate, sharing our experiences, wisdom, and of course hearing from you, taking your questions, answering them as much as we can. Yep, you can talk now.
I'm not saying anything.
Because we said you should not do drama, now you don't talk at all.
Yes.
But you know he's going to talk a lot more, so okay. All right, so in a bit we'll tell you what we're talking about today, something I believe is very interesting.
I thought necessary. All that now.
I thought we were going on a break. Okay, so what are we talking about? Tell us, what are we talking about?
Anyway, so now let me do the official welcome.
Wow, wow. So my own welcome is not official.
It's all right. So it's great to be back.
No.
Thanks so much for all your likes, comments, shares,
are you going
all those
on?
things I've been doing. I'm with you now. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I'm not starting again from the top.
Okay.
I'm taking it over from where you.
Taking over.
Yes, take it over.
Further, more like.
Over. Okay, I'm sorry. What's up? Anyway, guys, so today we're going to be talking about thank you. We want to say thank you for following up online, on social media, posting your comments, putting them on your different platforms and all of that. We've enjoyed so much love and support and favor. And thank you, LL, for just being an amazing partner.
Thank you too.
Being in this. So today, what we're looking at is something very important. So a lot of people ask us the question, how long is too long? I'm not talking about the part of your body. Oh my God.
Dams, why do you always give me this kind of moment?
This is X-rated, my God. Lord, we plead the power of the blood over my mind.
Yes, right. Sanctified.
Yes, because that's how long is too long, you know.
Peter, how long is too long to court?
Exactly.
To be in a relationship before you get married.
Yeah, and how short
is this really sounds What did you think about this when we were thinking about this?
And how short is too short?
To be in a relationship.
Of a relationship.
Okay, so how long is too long to be in a relationship and how short is too short to be in a relationship?
By the way, this introduction is becoming way too long, so we need to cut it off. And
we're going to keep it short. Just made for the kitchen, so everything about her is not kitchen. However, I do agree that by default, generally speaking, a woman is nurturing, and I think anybody, generally speaking again, because I know there are exceptions to the rule, generally speaking, women are nurturers. We want to love, we want to be homey, we want to serve, and that's why you find that when you're growing up as kids, children, and we're playing house, the girl wants to be mommy, she wants to back the doll, she wants to cook, stand and lead, and all of that. So by default, I think we are nurturers. There are a few exceptions. Some people just want to make robots and build bricks and all of that. And that's fine too. But generally, I think women are nurturers. And I I have no issues whatsoever being a nurturer or being homey. That's fine. It makes my husband happy, so it makes me happy. Yeah. Great. It's good to have you back.
It's great to be back.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I got a phone call from them.
No phone
Our
on.
business
no phone
now.
on
We
the
have to pay
set.
this. We have to pay for the business.
Yes, and we will still pay, but no phone on set. Let's be
I'm with
fast.
you. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's go.
Yeah. Are you sure if you keep it by? Right.
All right, let's go.
Thank you. All right. So what were we saying? All right. So we're
How long
talking
is
about
too
how
long?
long
Shut us too short.
to be in a
Context.
relationship before you get married. All right. So let's start from how short is too short a time to be in a relationship.
Yeah. So for me, like many things, when it comes to making decisions about life, I'm always like, it depends. And that's because, excuse me, I know that many people have this ideology that what works for them should become the standard based on their experience, their seeming success, the levels of accomplishment. So it now becomes the standard or the template, which can be very dangerous, especially because people are different personalities, experiences, cultural orientation, religious persuasions, affiliations, exposure, education,
Affirmation,
validation, condition, revelation.
Revolution.
Don't use that word with care so that they don't carry anybody.
don't what?
Revolution.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
minus revolution.
Yeah, and all of that. So for me, it really depends. But I would say that I usually recommend that people need to be very true to themselves, be very sincere. And why do I say that? Now, some people can be in a relationship for 3 years and then they don't really know much about the people
themselves.
because they are passive partners. Almost like being in business. Somebody could have been your staff for maybe like 10 years, but they haven't added so much value.
Okay.
And then somebody else joins the workforce in 6 months. And the person breaks all the records, sales records,
Okay.
marketing records, and all of that. So, who are you really as a person? Are you a fast learner? Are you inquisitive? Do you ask a lot of questions? Are you active? Or are you the passive partner who's
So are you talking
waiting
about
for
just
time?
one person now, or the two people in the relationship?
Well, the person that's asking the question right now, that's
Okay.
how long is too long,
Okay.
how short is too short. So, if you're in a relationship and wondering, okay, is it getting too long or getting too short? It's very subjective.
Okay.
And I think a major part of the subjectivity is who you are and how do you roll.
Okay. So is it the way you do one thing is the way you do many things? So does this apply just to the relationship, but applies to other things you do as well?
I think it could be generic, but more so in relationships.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. In some relationships, some people are responders.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're not going to go over the top, be the first to buy the Valentine gifts and all of that. But when they see affection or love or affirmation, they try to match the partners. Now, in some other places, the partner or the person in question is full throttle. Whether you respond or not, I'm going all the way.
Okay.
Here. So, who are you in that relationship?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think who are you, knowing yourself personally, ties into my first point about how short is too short a time. I really do feel that you need at least one full cycle with a person.
Yeah.
Maybe two. So one full cycle will be 1 year. So I like to use the European weather. So they have autumn,
You can
winter.
start anywhere and end up.
Okay, summer, winter. Hey,
Spring.
They just know that this guy have not lived abroad before.
You lived
Oh
abroad.
God.
You lived abroad.
Abroad did not live in me.
Nigeria. So
Okay.
you're in London. London
Okay,
wasn't
no.
on you.
Okay,
so
so
there's spring, depending on when you start. So spring gives way to summer.
Summer
gives way to
gives autumn gives way to winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there are
those,
different seasons that have different things.
yeah, but that makes up like the whole year.
Yeah, typically.
Typically the year. So I like to say that you should see this person in the different seasons of the person's life. So when
Yeah.
it's summer, when everything is blossoming in the person's life, everything is good, money is good, friendships are good, faith is good, God is close to me, I can hear God. How is the person then? How's the person in winter when things are cold,
Yeah.
dry, no friends, no family, hustling for this and that? Then when things start looking up in all those seasons, how is the person? So you
That's too important.
yeah, and because sometimes people are excited about, oh, I'm in a relationship, I found the guy, I found the boo, you're taking selfies, It's sweet to introduce, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, it's my fiance,
Family meetings.
this is my fiance,
Fiance.
financier, and you're going to say that. Yeah, it's sweet. Let's not lie. It's good. There's a thrill, especially for women, or generally speaking for women. So there's that thrill, but you still need to calm down and see this person through.
Yeah, I think we even need to do a particular episode called Calm Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the analogy is so important. I usually actually say one cycle is good, but I usually say 2 or 3. But we'll come back to that. Yeah. The reason I say one cycle is good, or recommend 2 or 3, is this: people can pretend in
For
9
1 year.
months. You can put up an act for 12 months. You can actually just put your resources together and even stretch the drama for over 18 months. It's the truth, right? So you don't really get the rhythm of a show until you've seen several seasons of the show. Because everybody can shoot 13 episodes of whatever comedy, and then you still don't get to know the heart of people. But having said that, seeing people in different phases of life is extremely crucial. Because if the person has all the money coming in, business is booming, finances are on point, you don't know whether he's very frugal. You don't know whether he has proper savings.
Yeah.
You don't know how he acts when his account is red.
So it'll be good to see him in that, or her in that
cycle
other
where maybe like money is not really flowing, or things are not working as well. And that is very important. There's still a lot more we have to say about this, but
we'll see you in a bit.
What's up? So you guys are live and direct in my home office where the magic happens. Well, the magic happens everywhere, but it depends what kind of magic you're talking about. I've started, it's too early for this, right? So basically, this is like my own spot in the house. You know, everywhere else there's activity, people are buzzing, children are jumping on me, playing, tugging at this, that, and the other. But every now and again, actually never now and again, like every day, I come down in here, and this is where I can really just do uninterrupted work, where I crank out proposals, create content, pray personally. I mean, I love praying with the family, but there's just something about praying alone, because I also need God in my space, not just as the head of the family, but I'm somebody's sheep as well, right? So it's important that I also get that time to reflect, to think. And then some days of the week, some of my assistants come in, depending on the nature of the work I'm doing, and then they crank out or support, as the case may be. All right, people, so we're discussing something that is very important, and that is how long should your relationship last before you start considering marriage or an exit, as the case may be. So we spoke about the importance of cycles and seeing people through different seasons. Now let's mention this. No matter how many cycles you date somebody for, no matter how many rings they've given you, from promise ring to engagement ring to suffer ring, to purity ring, to become Lord of the Rings or Lady of the Rings, you will never get to see everything there is to see, not just about that person, but also about life and how life can dramatically change.
Sorry, can I just say this? We remember your thoughts.
I remember. I know what you want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
I know what you want to say.
Okay.
However, it's important for you to do yourself the favor of going through the routine check. So let me give you an example. Like you saying, you never know what will happen in your children's school, by the way. So you might as well just drop them off and not know their friends. You need to know their friends, you need to know their schools, their teachers. Regardless of how many friends you know, you will never know everybody that will influence them.
True.
But you can know them well enough to know what their tendencies are, idiosyncrasies are. I think, confirm, what you're about to say is that when we say you don't know what the person will become, we've already addressed that issue before. So we're not trying to scare anybody to say, oh, marriage is tormentors or whatever, but people need to know that things happen in marriages that
you're not planned for, you didn't expect before.
And I think that a lot of people don't seem to hold into that these days. People just feel like how I met my husband or how I met
it's how he or she will always be
the rest of their lives.
Okay. All right. So, but how long now becomes too long?
Okay, so I think that we should also give some indicators. Now, if you can't vouch for the person's character, and trust is not rock solid, I think that relationship is too short to bear the weight of a lifelong relationship. Now, there's a difference between loving somebody and trusting them. You can love on credit, but people need to earn their trust, isn't that so?
Okay.
So you can choose to love somebody, I love you, but can I trust you?
Yeah, because this is a really intimate relationship if you're going to get married, so the stakes are higher.
Yes. So you need to be together long enough to build trust.
Okay.
Not just to have a semblance of love or agreeableness or togetherness.
So does this come back to your initial point about who you are? Because what if it takes me 3 years to build trust and it takes you 1 year to build trust?
Yeah.
So does it depend on the individuals in...
Absolutely, that plays in as well.
Okay.
Some people connect instantly, and then even though they connect, they're still studying and watching. Some people watch before they connect.
Okay.
Right. So they're not even going to say hello or hi or hang around or go agree to a date, except they've actually seen from a distance. They've checked. Some people, before they even say yes, they've checked out your social media profile, checked all your conversations.
So they already have a head start.
Yeah. So a lot of it has to do with your personality. But I think trust, regardless of what your personality is, that is essential because that's the glue of every long-lasting relationship. Then I also think that the person needs to have demonstrated an understanding of commitment, sacrifice. So has the person given up certain things for you? So for example, right?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
No.
What's this?
Because some people now give up what they are not supposed to give up, but that's a totally different matter. I'm not even talking about that.
Okay.
But just some people in the bid to prove or show that I'm really committed to you. Some people will now
go to the house, compound, yeah.
That one said day. There's the one, okay, I'm not going to do my master's anymore. I want this man. I found the man of my dreams. So they drop their own personal ambitions and what they really should do for themselves and give it up. They will say self-sacrifice. He needed me. We're good to go. Everything was set. So I think that's a totally different topic. What can you give up? Yeah.
That's worthy of discussion as well. So for me, trust, sacrifice and commitment, or the willingness to. I think I'll also look at things like, do you have agreement as to what I understand of marriage is and where it's going? Because some people have this open marriage thing or this open relationship thing where you're allowed to still run after guys or girls. You're still allowed to bring third parties into your bedroom. That's weird, and that's like, we don't subscribe to that and we don't even approve of it. Not just subscribe. People like, okay, you don't subscribe, but do you approve? No, we don't. So this American basketballer actually, he had an open relationship mentality. So he had this first girlfriend, we were together, they had 2 children together, and then the guy would bring in girls. Okay. And the girl would allow, because I want to please my husband, I want him to be happy.
Were they married? Or
no, they were just
open relationship,
but they had children though.
Okay.
Then eventually the guy now fell in love with one of the
other girls
openers.
So now come to voila.
And eventually decided to have 2 girlfriends, and both of them agreed to it for a long time. But the original girlfriend couldn't take it anymore. I'm still
lost in this story now. So he had 2 new girlfriends from his outside girlfriend?
No, 2 girlfriends. He had 1 new girlfriend in addition to the old girlfriend who allowed him to be bringing girls. Okay. So eventually the first girlfriend had to leave.
Wow.
Yeah.
She couldn't take
it any
I don't think generally women can take that extra woman thing really in your heart. Can you really take it? Are people really genuinely cool with that?
I've never been
I feel God has designed us for one person. So I feel if you allow it,
many men are going to argue. It's conditioning. Many men are going to argue.
Okay, we need to talk about that. Okay.
All right.
Please.
So basically, for me, I'll just talk about 3 things. I'll talk about number 1, have you built trust? Number 2, I'll talk about do you understand what commitment and sacrifice entail? And number 3, have you been together long enough to have the same expectations and vision for marriage? Yeah. When we're back, we're going to talk about how long is too long, because I think that's a very major issue.
Important one too. To collect meat and things, but yeah, once in a while. I mean, if I'm cooking sometimes and I want him to just be around me, he's happy doing that. Sometimes I'm tired. When I was working, I'd come back home, I'd be tired. So if I'm tired, he comes in, makes it. His Indomie can make, he makes it. If it's yam and egg, he can make, he makes it. but that's only once in a while. Or if he's tired and I'm tired, we order, and everybody's happy. Yeah. Okay. All right. Welcome back, guys. Good to have you back. So now we are going to go further in the discussion about how long is too long to be in a relationship or how short is too short. We've dealt quite a bit with how short is too short, and of course you can still ask questions since we can't talk about everything here and now. So we're going to talk about how long is too long to be in a relationship. So if we're going strictly by timelines, personally, since we spoke about at least getting to know the person for 2 to 3 cycles or 1 to 2 cycles, menstrual cycle. Peter, stop it now.
I didn't say that too.
Why are you thinking about all these things today?
Wait, she said that cycles.
Yes.
I mean, so the person is driving Okada, 2 cycles.
What?
Marwa keke napep.
What are we talking about now?
Cycles.
The person is driving car encore 4 years.
Cycles.
No, 4 years.
No, not years, just cycles. I'm playing off,
Right.
the cycles.
Okay. Right. He's back.
Okay.
So how long is too long? So personally, I think anything longer than 2-3 years, personally. So my question would be, okay, what are you trying to look for? Or what you haven't seen yet? What are you trying to ascertain that you haven't ascertained yet? But I know things can play in. So for example, maybe there are sometimes your parents are still trying to make peace with maybe you getting married to someone from another tribe.
Right.
So you're still trying to see how you can, get their, I don't want to say buying, okay, blessing. Yeah, get their blessing. Or maybe someone really wants to go for a master's, and this master is really going to help them in their life's purpose or their journey, or even be a better wife or husband for you. And you're like, okay, we can add 1 more year to it. So I get there are instances where 3 years, it can go to 4 or 5 years. But if there's no strong, legit thing, if it's something that you can still do when you are married, what are we waiting for? And I know for guys, especially guys want to have 10 million naira before they get married.
I actually had a friend who always said, whenever he asked him, when are you going to get married? 10 million naira. I'm sure the guy is laughing at that.
Yeah, because even if you get 10 million naira, you will still need more money for something.
Absolutely.
So, and I know we addressed this in one of our past videos, how much is enough to start.
Yeah.
But if you have just enough to start, be okay and start with that. Yeah?
Yeah, so how long is too long? I think that it's becoming too long when the purpose of the relationship now becomes trying to get the other person to make a decision about the future of the relationship. Simply put, when you see that you're no longer just growing together towards a common purpose, but you're now the person maybe instigating, enticing, whatever, you're now prodding. That now becomes the replacement. Like, how far now? What are you doing? When conversations start going in that ambit or orbit, I think it's becoming a bit too long.
Yeah.
And then if you now see that you're becoming consumed by maybe things like passion for the person's body.
I was just going to come there.
As against the person's spirit and soul.
Yeah, and what the person actually brings to the table. Because I think that's a danger point in now courting for too long.
Yeah.
Because for goodness sake, how long can you resist this hot body?
Exactly.
How long will your hormones keep raging? How long will you keep doing accountability?
The heathens rage. Sorry, the hormones rage.
We always talk about
and
accountability.
the people imagine a vain thing.
Yeah, accountability, don't be in a room alone. At some point, you want to be in a room alone. At some point, somebody has gone out and you are now the only ones at home.
And they're about to come in.
Leaves room. Exits door.
I'm sorry, Allah.
Right, so all those things, you don't need that drama.
Yeah.
Right? So
but let's just put this in context though. You know that some people from the first day of the relationship, that thing is already doing them. They're already feeling like the minister of the agro-allied industry. Where they are plowing all kinds of, they're thinking about all kinds of things. Yes, so what we're not trying to say, you shouldn't exercise self-control. Because if you're really attracted to the person, you don't even need 2 years for that to start happening. But we're saying don't get to the point where you overexpose yourself. In fact, Paul even put it this way, that it's better for you to get married than to burn. He literally used that word, burn. So just make sure that once the fundamentals are there, and you can watch some of our previous episodes on what to look out for, danger signs, red flags, timing. Once you've gone through the major checks about accountability, trust, transparency, then what are you waiting for?
Just get it done. Okay, so we'll be back in a bit to wrap this up.
I believe that if the pastor has a gift of writing, he can write. So for me, I have 4 published books and possibly like 50 book items I'm working on at different times, but 4 of them have been released. I do a lot of coaching and consulting. I consult for banks. Literally, I don't just consult for banks and train banks. I actually create content. So what that means is that I create the content, I create the curriculum for training people, and then I get paid for that. I run that training a couple of times and then sell the content to the bank. And that's like, so I'm working on, oh, am I selling this bank? Well, this is still a proposal now, it's a work in progress. So those are some of the things I do. I also do online coaching. So those are some of the things I do: personal growth, personal development, effective communication, leadership, persuasion, business systems, structure, creativity, innovation, leadership, teamwork, just all of that. So all of that are under a different company and they pay my bills and more. So yeah, I know that there are pastors that just do, church work, but I see my work as kingdom work, which means that it's not restricted to just the 4 walls of a weekly gathering. It goes above and beyond that. So these are some of the things I do off the stage. All right, people, so thank you for sticking with us. I believe that this episode has not been too long. Sticky notes. Why? Let me just ask this question. Why did the keyboardist have his fingers stuck on the keyboard? Because he was playing sticky notes.
I don't know if there was one key that was called stick, it might have worked. Sticky notes. He was playing notes. Okay, sticky.
Yeah. All right.
I get it, boy. I still didn't enter jail very well.
So thank you for sticking with us, and we just want to wrap this up. I'm going to ask LL, what do you think people should take away from this?
Have you asked anybody to guess what LL means? So everybody knows what LL means.
No, we did that a
while ago. But these new people, do you people know? Do you know? Do you know?
Living legend.
So the people who need to watch us, we're living legend. That's a good one too, but that's not it.
That's not what it means, but yeah, living legend.
So what is LL? What does LL mean?
Leave a comment.
Yeah, let us know what you think it means. All right, so we're trying to wrap up how long too long is and how short too short is to be in a relationship before you get married. So I'll just do a brief recap of what we've said. So for me, how short is too short? Don't get too excited. I've met him, it's a complete package. I've never felt anything like this. I've never, what was that thing they say? A feeling you feel you've never felt before and all of that, when you are feeling a feeling. Right? So don't get so carried away with all of that. And in 6 months, you say you want to get married.
Yeah.
Calm down.
That could work, but that's an exceptional case.
Yeah, and you live your life by rules, not exceptions, right?
Absolutely.
Right? And then when it's becoming too long, if you've sorted out the basic things, trust, commitment, we are going in the same direction in life, what else are you trying to ascertain? Get married.
Get married. In fact, right now, go and buy that ring.
Oh,
this is not the word for everybody, but there's somebody watching this right now. You go buy the ring, you go set the date, put things in place. Of course, go through proper counseling, go through proper mentorship, go through the due diligence, watch videos,
read book, meet parents, talk to parents.
Do all those things, but don't elongate that thing. It's already long enough.
Alrighty, so we'll see you next time.
So if you know somebody who loves love
and someone who's in love,
praying to find love,
or praying that love finds them,
tell them to watch this video and stay in touch with us, and we'll send more healthy, robust, relational, helpful content your way. Bye.